We're a European software company with a global presence. We have offices throughout the world on all 5 continents. We are a developer of a low-code development framework which is targeted at developers of mission-critical business applications. We have 2 basic offerings. The first one is Genero Enterprise, which gives you an ability to create mission-critical applications from a business application modeler, and gives you the ability to do reliable, scalable, secure development architectures for ERP type solutions. The second offering is Genero Cloud, and that's a services offering that allows the developers to deploy their applications in a software as a service environment where all of the hard work is done for them in terms of security, in terms of scaling and provisioning of the systems. Today we're showcasing Genero Mobile, which is a component of Genero Enterprise, and that's again a low-code development framework which allows you to develop once for both iOS and Android. And as you're probably aware, iOS and Android are 2 very different proprietary development frameworks. So typically, if you want to develop a native application for either iOS or Android, you have to develop your application twice. With Genero Mobile, you develop it once. We have a level of abstraction which is above the technology, which allows you to write your business logic that runs locally on the device and will run on iOS and Android without having to rewrite the application. The main benefit is you develop much faster with our product than with the competitors. We're not the only cross-platform development environment for mobile. There are 1 or 2 others, but those typically only go as far as abstracting the language. And the most important thing to abstract is the presentation layer. So we go all the way up the stack and abstract the presentation layer as well, because when you think about it, presentation is maybe half to 2/3 of your application. So if you have to write twice half to 2/3 of your application, then you may as well just be writing in a native environment. So with that abstraction, you nevertheless, with Genero Mobile, get a native user interface, a native look and feel, so an iOS ergonomics or an Android ergonomics. But at the same time, if you want an HTML5 JavaScript feel, then you can do that too. That's the first major differentiator, I would say, with respect to our competition. The second one is we have a scalable, secure architecture. So it's not just about a development framework that runs on the handset, it also runs on the desktop, the laptop, or the server. So we cover the data center right the way through to the edge of the network, all in a secure, scalable environment. One tool that covers really the whole spectrum of development needs. Then finally, you've got a virtual machine that's running on the device, so if the network drops, you can still run your application. You can store data locally and sync when the network comes back. And then I'd say one final thing is the language is abstract. It's devoid of any technology constraints, which makes it really easy for new developers to learn. You can pick this language up in 2 to 3 weeks, no problem. What do we mean by cross-platform? Cross-platform for us means that you focus on the business logic. You focus on what your business is. You know your business intimately. We focus on the technology. That means that your business logic will last forever. You will surely update it as your industry changes, but in terms of keeping pace with the technology, that's where we step in. So we will move your business logic wherever the technology takes you. That's our key approach, and we support, from that point of view, Linux on a server or on a desktop. We support Mac OS, server or desktop. We support Windows, server or desktop. And we support iOS and Android. And your application, you write it once, you compile it once, and it will run across all of those environments, each one fitting the native client technology, the native ergonomics of that device without having to write that code yourself. That's what we take on board. So Genero Mobile is really about business applications, ERP systems, specialized ERP systems. Typically, users of our product, or developers I should say, are people that have a field operation, people collecting data in the field in some form or manner, feeding back to a data center that's programming their time schedule roster. So good examples of that are the city of Genoa. Their hygiene agents, urban hygiene agents, are walking around the city looking at fly tipping, photographing, instructing people to come and collect the rubbish. There are also Chandon, Moët and Chandon. They are the wine producers in Mendoza, Argentina. They have a precision winemaking process, and they have winemakers that walk up and down the vineyards collecting data on a handset that's powered by Genero Mobile and testing the humidity, the temperature, the acidity of the soil that enables them to detect when is the best time to harvest. That's another example. We have Sidonor, which is a large manufacturer of steel, a Spanish company, and they are using their device for production control. We have the Mexican Senate. They have a state-of-the-art building that they finished 2 or 3 years ago, and they're using Genero Mobile for the maintenance of that building. So there are people walking around the building looking at cracked windows, doors that are not working, security access, again feeding back to some central server that's managing the work schedule of people that go and do repairs. Then finally, one that's worthwhile talking about is the Mexican Ministry of Health. They have an application for people that have heart problems, and those people hit a button on their mobile phone, and that will send a signal to a hospital that will prepare a doctor for their arrival, and will send an ambulance to go and pick them up. So those are the kind of business situations that our Genero Mobile development framework is used for. Field operations with some kind of central server distribution strategy.